The High School Sports Beat is brought to you by Alfred State College, where within 6 months of graduating, an astonishing 99% are working or furthering their studies. At Alfred State, they stress project-based learning, where students work on real-world problems and learn how to think, not what to think. Visit alfredstate.edu.
Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The High School Sports Beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the High School Sports Beat brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. We begin our look at Section 5 sports this week with our opening story, brought to you by Sticky Lips Barbecue and Juke Joint. Sticky Lips Barbecue Juke Joint, New York State's largest barbecue restaurant right here in Rochester. See our menu and live music calendar at StickyLipsBBQ.com. Sticky Lips BBQ, Jefferson Road in Henrietta. Bishop Kearney Selects Academy Hockey has become a national powerhouse in the program's first 4 years. And there's no better evidence than the athletes who are heading to Ivy League schools this fall. From the Iceplex, here's Paul Gotham.
In its first 3 years of existence, the Selects Academy girls hockey program at Bishop Kearney High School, or Selects at BK, sent 20 players on to 4-year hockey programs, including 13 at the Division I level. The current Selects roster has 23 college commitments. Included in that number are 3 players who will continue their academic and athletic careers in the Ivy League. Mia Cohen, Ellie Ryder, and Ashley Messier will all play at different Ivy League schools next season. Cohen, a native of Clayton, New York, will attend Princeton.
Princeton's campus is beautiful. It's very antique. The type of vibes you get are antique. So I guess it was just walking around seeing all the big brick buildings, and the weather's beautiful there. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much more beautiful than that campus. So that was definitely another thing that drew me to Princeton. So.
Ryder, from Denver, Colorado, will lace them up for Yale.
It was incredible. I was deciding between a few schools, but Yale just kind of clicked for me, and the coaches, there's new coaches now, but the coaches at the time really sold it for me and just felt like the best fit. The first time I visited, I went a day early, and then I did the camp there, and the whole thing was just, like, it was just incredible. The weather was perfect. I guess just the whole idea that Yale can give me both hockey and academics made it seem like a perfect fit for me. So it wasn't necessarily like anything specific about the hockey program, but that it was the whole package.
Messier, a Saskatchewan native, will continue her career at Cornell.
Well, obviously really exciting. That was definitely like a reason I wanted to go there, is knowing like an Ivy League education was always something that I thought was a super cool opportunity. When I walked into Lina rink, it felt homey. That's kind of what the rinks are like. They're like barns, they're old, and they're just, I don't know. It just kind of hit home for me, and I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be. On top of everything else that was great about it, I just knew that was where I wanted to be, so.
And the recruitment process?
So it started my freshman year, which is a little different because the rule changed this year, so I think it's like junior years when they can start talking to you, but for me it's freshman year. I just talked on the phone with them a few times, and then scheduled a visit to the campus, got to the campus, and then after a few more times of them watching me, they offered me the spot, and then it was obviously up to me at that point whether I took it or not, but they offered me my sophomore year.
The first time, I think I was pretty young. It was like 7th or 8th grade. It was just kind of a brief interaction with one of the coaches, and then they started contacting me more at the beginning of freshman year, and then kind of sporadically throughout that year, and then heavily during the summer, and then I committed before sophomore year.
Teammates now, they will be rivals for the next 4 years.
We have talked about it, but mostly it's been about how we're excited that we're going to get to see each other so often, because it's, with a lot of the other girls, it's different leagues, and it's going to be like we won't play each other as much, you know, we're not in the same conference, so But it's really cool that we'll get to see each other regular season games and quite often. That's most of what we've talked about.
Brent Hill is in his third year as the director of the Selects at BK program. Getting an up-close view to the program's success is something Hill doesn't take for granted.
Yeah, early on, it was, when I first got to Bishop Kearney, realized what they had as a setup academically in terms of being able to challenge students and also support students. It sets hockey players up and serious athletes up really well, especially in our schedule where there's times within their days, almost like a college structure, where they can get some work done. And then in the evening, we have pretty set study hall time. So what I found in my 3 years here is our students are as serious in the classroom as they are on the ice, and it goes hand in hand. But it is impressive what they're accomplishing right now. Recently checked the overall average, and it's just above a 95. So pretty awesome stuff happening in the classroom. You know, it is a lot of work, and you know, I think it's like parenting at times. You know, some of the hard moments and hard days pay off, you know, looking back, and you know, you're walking through the rinks right now seeing some of those moments. But so worth it. The challenges make everyone stronger, and we push. Like we work every day. We work. You know, the girls are waking up, getting their shots in, stick handling, and the constant thing I keep hearing is we are so prepared coming in. And a lot of the girls say we actually feel like we did more work in Selects Academy than we do in college right now, and they're looking for that extra stuff. And that's what we hope for. You know, any great athlete we've ever known, their whole schedule revolves around, you know, taking care of their lives first, and if they're students, taking care of homework and the work, but finding time to be great outside of what they're doing. And that's what we're trying to encourage. Is it takes more than just the regular practices to be a world-class hockey player. It takes extra stuff during the week.
One former and 3 current players represented the United States last December at the IIHF World Championship in Slovakia. Current players Haley Wynn from Webster, Carolyn Harvey, and Kirsten Sims, along with Fairport's Kiera Zanon, were a part of the team that took the U18 gold medal. The program's role in helping to move players on to college careers?
They helped me with everything, because from the start I was just a young freshman who didn't have a ton of experience and stuff, so throughout the entire 4 years they've helped me develop my skills on and off the ice and made me a better person. Literally, they've given me everything I have.
I knew how he ran things, and I knew that this would help me get to the next level. So I think it has helped with that role in the sense that I'll be going into university prepared, and I can trust in the training I'm getting here for that. So
This program has, you know, such a huge name in the girls hockey world, so it's obviously very nice to be able to say you played for Selects Academy when you're talking to college coaches, because they know exactly who you're playing for, and they like Selects Academy players, to be honest. So, you know, they breed, you know, Division I women's hockey players here, so you can't go wrong with coming here if that's what your end goal is.
From the Bill Gray's Iceplex, this is Paul Gotham with the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College.
Well, coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the Dunkin High School Notebook. We'll have that and more when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, returns.
When Girl Scout ingenuity meets Dunkin' coffee, you get a cup of can-do. Girl Scout cookie-inspired flavors are at Dunkin'. Try Thin Mints and Coconut Caramel today. And get a medium latte or cappuccino for $2 from 2 to 6 p.m. America runs on Dunkin'.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, brought to you by Dunkin. America runs on Dunkin. We are pleased once again this week to be joined by Matt Trabold. Matt, thanks for coming on board.
Glad to be here.
We're going to start off talking about the Sutherland Boys. Won a title last year. Maybe not expected a lot of them this year, but who knows, right?
Yeah, one of the top stories in Section 5 basketball last year was this Kevin Ryan-led Sutherland team and them upsetting East, who was good again this year, in that A2 final as a 6 seed, which is even huger. But the question coming into this season was, post-Kevin Ryan, what would these Knights be? This was a guy who was, not just for a couple years, but for 4 years in a row, was not only a starter, but a go-to guy for a pretty big-name program in Sutherland. And on top of that, they graduated a couple good role players, productive ones, John Messina, John Luther. The first thing you notice when you see this team is their sheer size. And we've talked about Victor before. I think they rival Victor for the tallest rotation in Section 5 right now. That means even their point guard, 6'4", D1 lacrosse commit Benedict DiGiovanni. So you got 6'4" there in the backcourt, and then 6'7" Owen Flisnick, who could be inside, outside with his scoring. A couple other like football sort of guys. 6'5" that can bang in the blocks down low. And right now, we'll see if there's any more upsets come postseason time. The 5 seed in Class A2, just a smidge better than last year when they went in.
Wow. Looks like a promising postseason run maybe for the Knights. Let's talk about now about Lions. And they lost, big loss, but still haven't slowed them down too much.
Yeah, kind of like Sutherland, Lions also graduated one of the biggest name players in recent memory around these parts for boys basketball. Justice Smith, who's a 6'5" point forward, one of those top 5 scorers when you think about what's going on in this section, in this sport, in these parts. But you really have to give them a lot of love because despite not having him this season, they've gone out to a 15-1 record to start the season. They've risen to number 4 in the state rankings. This is a big deal. I mean, you don't really see in terms of those smaller classifications, maybe in terms of year after year after year success on this team, I should say. And then you look at some guy last year with that same last name, Smith, Justin Smith, who is the younger brother of Justice, 6'3" kid, known in the past as being a defensive stopper with a little bit of scoring punch, but he really bulked up, became a tank in the offseason. He's the top option on this team. His right-hand man is a fellow junior guard in Horace Betts IV. Fantastic name. I want to meet the other 3. And he really provides a lot of driving ability, kind of like Justin Smith, in this offense, in this offensive attack. And then the coaches up front can really rely on another guy that's been in the program for a little bit, a tenured starting forward in Benji Kemp. It'll be fun to see what they do in postseason play.
All right, awesome. Great stuff, Matt. Thanks very much. Back with more of the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College right after this. Well, coming up next, it's the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara, and later, Eastridge Hoops is back and looking for a sectional run. Well, their story with the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. Hit the ground running at alfredstate.edu. I'm Kyle O'Gara.
Making the grade this week is Canandaigua Junior Alexis Taft. Alexis is part of both the varsity lacrosse and cheerleading teams. Since she started cheerleading her freshman year, she's racked up quite the resume. In 2018, Alexis was a first pick all-county and Canandaigua's most valuable player in their state championship winning season. In addition to her success cheerleading, Alexis has a 95 average in the classroom and volunteers around her community. Alexis has been a volunteer assistant coach for 5 years and also volunteers her time in the summer to help Rochester families in need. This week, Alexis Taft is making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. And now here's Dave of the McArdle Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here are some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in this week's Section 5 Spotlight, brought to you by McArdles in Fairport. Come home to McArdles. Congrats to Rush Henrietta boys basketball coach Chris Reed on his 400th career victory. 301 of those coming with the Royal Comets over the last 20 seasons. The Canandaigua Braves cheer team came away from the Victor Cheer Classic as grand champions with a first-place finish for the varsity squad and a high-five recognition. And finally, Eastridge's Trevor Schmidt scored his 100th career point in a 6-2 loss to Spencerport. Schmidt, who plays for Gates Shiloh, accomplished the mark in just his second season with the Spartans. Well, coming up next, Tony Arnold leads a rejuvenated Lancers basketball squad at Eastridge. We'll have his story and the rest of the Lancers' tale when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
And now to Eichel. He floated one.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. The Eastridge Lancers ended last week with a 13-3 record. Led by senior Tony Arnold, Eastridge is looking for their first sectional title since 1964.
No one ever likes to lose, and when that loss comes to your crosstown rival, it's even tougher to handle.
When Eastridge and West Irondequoit squared off recently, it wasn't just a matchup of 12-2 teams, it was a battle for bragging rights. Now, coming up short against the Eagles had to sting, but at the same time, it might have served as a wake-up call, giving the Lancers an opportunity to take a closer look at themselves and gear up for the stretch run and beyond.
Now we have to figure out how to play team ball, because last night we really didn't play team ball like how we usually play. And when we play team ball, we all stick together and we all come out with the win.
I think yesterday was a great game. I think going into the game, we had the right mindset, but we didn't execute where we wanted to. I think games like those are the ones we need going into the postseason.
You know, obviously Irondequoit's got a really good team, really good program. So it was good for us to go in there and kind of see where we're at this point in the season. You know, the atmosphere there was awesome. You know, like you might not get an atmosphere like that in a sectional final game. So it was good for the kids. It's a good experience regardless, I think, for both teams. So, you know, it just shows us, you know, how much better we need to get if we want to achieve our goals this year. And
so what are the things they need to work on? Well, sometimes it seems like they are their own worst enemy. Their athleticism can get the better of them and take them out of their game plan.
Yeah, I mean, I think just having a little more patience on the offensive end. You know, at times we get going so fast that, you know, we don't make the greatest decisions in the half court. So I think a little more patience on offense, you know, get everyone some more touches on the ball. And I think defensively, you know, we're really quick and we do a lot of good things on defense, but sometimes, you know, we gamble a little bit too much. We get a little undisciplined, especially down the stretch. So, you know, we'll work on those things definitely.
There's one thing that Eastridge has always been known for. It's they would have plenty of athletes, but that didn't always translate to success on the floor. This year it's different. The attitude matches the ability.
I would say buying in is what's making a difference this year. We always had the athletes and the team to do it, but the will to do it is what's happening this year.
What's the difference this year between some of the past years?
The difference this year is that we play like as a team. Last year, I really didn't play that much, but last year, I was sitting on the bench, I can see that everybody kind of played for themselves last year, but this year we play a lot of team ball this year.
A lot of that comes from being so close. Most of this team has grown up together as basketball players and as friends.
You know, 3 of them I've been coaching for about 4 years now. They brought them up as 9th graders, so they've been around a while, and they're great kids. The team as a whole is like they're all out there basically playing basketball with their best friends for the most part. They get along great, and they're just fun to be around. You know, and it makes my job easier when coming to practice is fun. They want to be at practice. I want to be at practice. You know, going around school during the day, teachers have positive things to say about them. And on the road this year, we've had numerous fans, including last night, you know, after the Irondequoit game, you know, just come up to me and tell me, like, man, you got a really nice group of kids there and they can really play ball. So it's fun. You know, if we would have won last night, I might not have got that comment, but.
It's great because you're doing it not only for yourself, but for one another, and to know the guy next to you has your back. So it's like, it's great to be out there with your friends, and it's all happiness.
Arnold is the go-to guy on this team. Sure, he's the leading scorer, but he's a lot more than that. Not all of his contributions can be found in the stats book.
You know, he's grown a lot in the last 4 years, you know, from a 9th grader until now. And he's just, you know, he's relentless, really. You know, when the lights are on and we're ready to play, I mean, he just does his thing, you know. But he's grown so much as a player in the last 4 years, you know, growing as a scorer, growing as a rebounder, defender, and really as a leader on the team. You know, he leads by example a lot, but he also, like, when something needs to be said, you know, he'll step up and say it.
Is this the kind of senior year that Arnold expected? Well, after putting in so much effort during the offseason.
Honestly, yes, because I know I worked towards it, so I'm not really surprised at what's happening this year, but I'm not where I want to be, or I don't think the team is where we want to be yet. We've lost a couple close games, so we're not satisfied. We have a positive record, but we're not satisfied, so we're not where we want to be yet.
like to thank our sponsors, especially Alfred State College, for making the Sports Beat possible. We'd also like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.